Welcome to the Link edition this week, and we continue to bring you information you can use. I promised a while ago that we are going to keep on bringing you experts in the oil sector, so as for you to know what is expected of you if you want to play in the sector. And tonight my guest is Mr. Joseph Kabusheshe, who is the Director Environment, Health, Safety and Security at the Petroleum Authority of Uganda. Welcome, Dr. Joseph.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
All right. Let's take the first question. I am sitting at home and people watch the link. They're waiting for cues. I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I want to play in the oil sector. But in terms of safety standards and requirements, what is required of me? PAU is the regulator. What do you expect of me?
Okay, as a Ugandan company, small, medium, enterprise, whatever size, what you need to be aware of is the national framework for management of health and safety aspects.
Okay.
And this, a lot of it, you can get from the petroleum laws, both for the upstream and the midstream, but also the regulations that are made there under, specifically the HSE regulations of 2016.
Okay.
The other relevant legislation is the Occupational Health and Safety Act of 2006, but also the Public Health Act. So these have the main ingredients for management of health and safety in the oil and gas sector, but also generally in the working environment. Okay. Together with this, the international benchmark widely used is the International Standard Organization Standard 45001 on occupational health and safety. And what this does is it explains overall the health and safety management systems that a company like yours should implement to ensure. The objective mainly is to ensure the safety of workers, the safety of personnel, the people around you, the people in the workplace, but also in the communities. And of course, as a follow-on, consequently, this is now protection of the environment and then the assets within the oil and gas sector.
All right. So, viewers, you need to do some homework on the laws. We don't have time to break down those things. By the way, this discussion is brought to you by Standard Chartered Bank. They are bankrolling us now to be able to educate Ugandans now on oil today. Dr. Joseph, environment and safety are key in getting oil project funding. Tell us, in terms of Uganda, how are we doing on that front in terms of being able to secure funding for oil projects?
So environment and social safeguards are indeed a key factor when international financing institutions, international and local financing institutions are looking at whether or not to provide funding for development projects. The first major key consideration is on compliance to the national environment and safety laws. On the international level, the main consideration, the main standard for benchmark is the International Finance Corporation Performance Standards, IFC Performance Standards, 18 number, to do with environment and social assessment, community public health, involuntary resettlement, and land acquisition, biological diversity.
So your impact on people and
yes, so environment and people, those are the major considerations. So this will sort of be the checklist for the environment and social considerations. The other one would be the compliance to the international conventions and treaties, again on environment and social aspects. And Uganda is a signatory to many of them. So Uganda as a country, the work that has been done on these projects makes sure that there is compliance to all these requirements with respect to the national environment and social laws. The environment and social impact assessments have been undertaken for all these projects and undertaken in line with international best practice, integrating the requirements within the International Finance Corporation performance standards, the IFC performance standards, and then also making sure that the projects comply with the international conventions and treaties on environment, which Uganda is a signatory to. So to answer your question, yes, Uganda, these projects have met the requirements to be able to secure the required funding from international and national financial institutions, and this has been achieved, as you know. The final investment decision for these projects was announced
in February,
a few months back in Feb 2022.
Feb 1st, I can't forget the date.
Yes.
It looks like these would be for such projects of the magnitude like Tilenga, Kingfisher. But does this pertain to me also if I'm in a company?
Oh yes, because if you're in a company, are you looking at a small, medium enterprise? Again, to get local funding, for example, you need to undertake an environmental and social impact assessment.
Makes sense, yeah.
For any project funding, even by local lenders, you'll need the environment and social impact assessment certificate from the National Environment Management Authority. But also importantly, this is not only about ticking the box, but also makes a business case to comply with these environmental and social
These
safeguards.
guys have confidence that, okay, you are serious.
It is important for community buy-in. It is important for what we call the social license to operate. So if these environment and social safeguards are not well taken care of, then they can affect how the project goes.
That makes sense. People did not think, but yeah, I know one bank I want to mention, because they have not paid me to mention them, but they have protocols these days, I'm told, on the environment.
Yes.
Okay, our final question, Doctor, tonight. Oil spills and waste disposal and accidents come along with the oil sector. As Uganda, how ready are we to deal with these issues when they arise?
So Uganda as a country, we have been privileged to be able to learn from the experiences in other parts of the world. As you are aware, the first commercial discovery was made confirmed in 2006. We are now in 2022.
14, 20, quite a few years ago.
Yes, quite a few years ago.
Later, yeah.
So what, as a country, we have been able to achieve is to learn from these past experiences, the bad experiences that have been associated with the sector in other parts of the world, and make sure that those are not repeated here. So with respect to oil spill, we have a comprehensive, robust framework for oil spill management. In addition to the main laws and the main environment and petroleum laws. Specifically, there is the National Environment Management Oil Spill Prevention, Preparedness and Response regulations. Specific on oil spills. The Oil Spill Prevention, Preparedness and Response regulations of 2020, which provide the overall framework for oil spill management in the country, the roles and responsibilities of different players and so forth. We also have the oil spill, the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan, which we spoke to earlier. And these together provide the overall framework for management of oil spills, looking at ensuring that the oil spills, first of all, they are avoided as much as possible, and this is achieved through the design, mainly making sure that the designs are robust enough to avoid spills from occurring. And there are a lot of interventions in this area with respect to the automation, the emergency shutdown systems in case something goes wrong. So all these, nobody needs to come in and close a valve or a tap, as you do refer to it. But the systems are really automated. So many barriers integrated within the oil and gas systems to ensure that we avoid. And then secondly, in terms of preparedness and response, then in the unlikely event that there is a spill, then we are able to be adequately prepared and to respond through making sure that there are oil spill contingency plans, there is adequate oil spill equipment, both within the country but also that can be called upon immediately in case. And all this work has been ongoing smoothly. The oil spills, for example, have been modeled. If a spill is to occur from a well, we now know the trajectory which it will follow. We know that it is, if it is of this amount, this is how it is likely to move, and this is the impacts that it is likely to cause. So with all these interventions, then we are able to make sure that as a country, we are prepared to respond to oil spills in
because
case
of time. Let's handle accidents. I see 1 minute almost.
Okay, accidents. Again,
accidents.
This similar to what I've been saying. Again, it is first of all making sure that these accidents do not happen. So each of these projects will have what we call a major accident prevention plan.
Prevention is key.
Yes, prevention is key. So again, that integrates the design aspects, making sure that these facilities are designed to prevent, mainly this would cause from loss of containment of the hydrocarbons, which could be oil, which could be gas. And of course, once that goes into the atmosphere, we have what we call an explosive atmosphere. You have an ignition source, a source that can cause a fire or an explosion. So once you have these systems in place, which can be able to avoid, you have the adequate control mechanism in place to ensure that if anything like this happens, then it cannot escalate. And then you have the external response that can come in. So together, all these combined, really, they give us the confidence that these projects will be undertaken in a safe manner that will not cause harm to people, but also importantly to the environment.
In 20 seconds, on environment issues in oil, do I go to NEMA or I come to PAU?
Government. NEMA is the overall national institution for coordination of environment issues. And then the PAU, when it comes to oil and gas, the law provides for what we call the lead agency, and the functions, the complementary functions of each are well elaborated in the law. So really, environment management is not an aspect of one institution. It is an aspect for all of us. Government, the private sector, the communities, we are all in it together, working together to ensure that the environment is protected from any undesirable effects.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph. I always speak about keeping my brakes. I apply brakes because of the time. That the conversation is still going on, but I have forced to stop. Thank you very much. Viewers, the oil opportunities are here, but you can see that it's not one of those usual, it's not like trade where you just go and open up a shop and you have capital. No. Even when you have the money, you need to follow certain steps because things like safety and health and environment are critical. So you have had, we have just scratched the surface here. Do some reading, do some homework before you get involved. And even if you think I'm not investing, get yourself informed. At some point, it might benefit you. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.